Hey everyone, it's Mallory here with All About Cats, and in this week's video we're taking an in-depth look at Temptations cat treats. So I've gotten a number of requests that we review Temptations treats, and it's no wonder that this is of interest. Their site claims that they're America's #1 cat treat, and at least here in the United States, they're available in pretty much every store that sells food. You can buy them in grocery stores, big box stores, pet specialty retailers. Temptations are everywhere, and I think part of it is because cats just like them so much. Temptations are, in my experience, the most appealing treats I can present to my cats. They've certainly been a huge help in training. They're really, really palatable. But while they are really, really popular and a ton of cats and people love them, Temptations treats are a bit controversial. So if you search Temptations cat treats in Google, one of the first recommended search terms is, "Are Temptations killing cats?" And you'll see a lot of results talking about the dangers of Temptations treats. So I thought it would be interesting to take a closer look at some of these claims or accusations against Temptations, and to also just go in depth on everything that you need to know about this brand and the treats themselves. So if there's something in particular you're interested in, please feel free to use the video navigation to jump to that section, and otherwise, let's just jump on into it. So first off, Temptations are, again, cat treats. They're available in a few different varieties. So you have the classic variety that has that crunchy exterior and softer interior, available in a number of flavors. And then you have their Meaty bites, and now they have Purrreés. The classic treats are generally complete and balanced for cats, so they're intended to double as a meal replacement if desired, but generally they're best served as treats alone, so not as a complete source of nutrition. I'll talk a little bit more about the nutritional merits or lack thereof later on, but first I think we should get a little bit of background on Temptations. So Temptations come from the world's biggest pet food company, Mars Pet Care, absolutely huge company. You might know them for brands like Sheba, Royal Canin, Whiskas, Iams, many different very popular cat food brands are under Mars Pet Care. Temptations specifically, at least according to a representative to whom I spoke yesterday, are made in the United States, at least if you're purchasing them in the United States, and they're made in Mars Pet Care owned facilities. So again, this is a huge company. They seem to have fairly good quality control standards. They're able to work with a large R&D department. They should have pretty good control over their products. Temptations specifically has never been involved in a recall, so these treats have never been pulled from the shelves or recalled in any way. However, again, there have been these claims made about them. So most accounts that I've read say that this dates back to 2016. There was a post on Facebook made by an animal sanctuary that said that 12 of their sanctuary cats had gotten sick. All of them were in various stages of renal failure, and the person connected their illness to Temptations treats. Now, this connection was never confirmed. Mars reached out to this person and said that there was no issue with Temptations treats, and they eventually ended up deleting that post or editing it and removing the old text. However, this did start a really big conversation about Temptations treats, and I think it did kind of fan the flames. However, it's not true that these claims started being made in 2016. I read through hundreds of consumer affairs reviews, and I found that similar stories were being told there years before 2016. So I've read a lot of reviews of cat foods. I've seen a lot of people claiming that foods killed their cats. This is something that tends to happen when you're looking at reviews of very popular foods and treats, right? Thousands of people are feeding their cats Temptations, and when something goes wrong, it's easy to blame the treats, right? However, with this, I think there is a reason to investigate further and to pay attention to these claims. The reason being, the stories that I'm seeing have some consistency to them. Again, I read through hundreds of reviews and I took note of the symptoms that people were mentioning. Vomiting was a very big one, and sometimes the vomit would have blood in it. There's also diarrhea, sometimes with blood in it. Lethargy was a big one. And a number of people also said that their cat suddenly became sick. They were not an old cat, and they took them to the vet and they were found to have or to be in acute renal failure. So not all of the reviewers said this, but an interesting number of them did. Again, Mars has never said that this was an issue. The FDA has never done an investigation into this, and we can assume that a big company like this would take responsibility, look into it, and that they would find if there was an issue. So again, it's not confirmed. I can't make a claim about this, and unfortunately, I can't say anything definitive, but it does seem that there is something worth looking into here. Another thing that I've noticed people saying about Temptations is that they're addictive. This one's kind of interesting. So there is nothing in Temptations treats, to our knowledge, that would be addictive to cats. We can look at the ingredient lists of these treats, and natural flavor is the ingredient that is most likely contributing to the palatability of these treats, and that would be the reason why most likely they would have this possibly addictive effect, right? So people are talking about their cats getting into these treats, getting really hooked on them, becoming aggressive, not wanting to eat anything else. And I would guess that it's just because these treats taste so good. So these treats contain, again, an ingredient called natural flavor, which can mean a variety of things. But generally in pet food, this refers to a product of hydrolyzed animal tissue. So it's a concentrated animal-based flavor additive that just tastes really good. It has a savory taste that cats really like. So I don't know that the claims about addiction are necessarily valid. It seems to me that cats are very food motivated. If they find something they really like, they can change behaviorally. So again, there's no confirmation on any of this. There's no way to deny that these cats are addicted. I can only say that I am not seeing anything in these treats that would have some really problematic addictive effect, other than just the fact that they taste good. So the bottom line on these claims about Temptations is that no, we have not heard of any recalls. We've never heard from Temptations that there was a problem. We've never heard from any regulatory agency that there was a problem. We only have these reviews, right? We also know that thousands of people are feeding these treats to their cats with no problem. Still, I think there may be some legitimacy to these claims, and that it's something worth looking into, and that I would like to, hear a little bit more of a rigorous investigation into, if at all possible. So now that we've talked a bit about these claims, let's take a look at what Temptations treats are actually made of. So we'll take a look at their tasty chicken flavor. It's very popular, and we'll take a closer look at the ingredient list. So we can see that chicken byproduct meal is the first ingredient, so a meat-based ingredient, a nice concentrated source of chicken-derived nutrients and flavor, but it's not at all a meat-based product. So we have brewer's rice, we have wheat flour, and we have ground corn in those first few ingredients. And then, of course, it contains that natural flavor that I talked about earlier. So again, like the other classic Temptations treats, this product is formulated to meet AAFCO guidelines for adult maintenance. So again, if you want, you can fill up your cat's bowl with this and it can be a complete meal. But given the fact that it is such a plant-based product, I would not really recommend it as your cat's primary source of nutrition. And also, of course, your cat's not getting that moisture that they need. So according to the minimum and maximum values given on the guaranteed analysis, it appears that these treats are about 33% protein, 25% fat, and 42% carbohydrates on a dry matter basis. Overall, I would not say that these are the most nutritious treats, and certainly would not be the most nutritious food. However, I cannot deny that these treats are extremely palatable. Cats really, really like them. They have, I guess, a concentrated flavor that cats love. So having looked at this product specifically, as well as Temptations as a whole, looking into some of these more troubling conversations about the brand, would I recommend it? Well, we have to remember that Temptations are very, very well loved. If you look at Amazon and Chewy, the reviews are overwhelmingly positive. They have thousands of 5-star ratings. Almost everyone has good things to say about these treats. However, if you are concerned and you want to give your cat A more nutritious treat, I would certainly recommend some of the products listed in our review of the best healthy cat treats. For example, bonito flakes are one of my #1 recommendations. Cats absolutely love them. They're really motivating. They can get your cat to do tricks and really engage their brains, and so it's overall a good thing. And then if you do want to stick with the Temptations brand, you might want to try their Meaty bites or their Purrreés. So these do have some ingredients that are kind of questionable, but they're certainly more species appropriate or meat-based products. The last point that I want to mention is that Temptations are fairly affordable. So the tasty chicken flavor I mentioned here costs about 52 cents per ounce. Compared to other treats on the market, that's a pretty good price. So I hope that all of this helped to clarify more than confuse and helped you to get a better sense of what's going on with Temptations and whether or not they could be a good choice. Again, this is just, it's an ongoing conversation and kind of a little bit of an ongoing mystery. So I would love to hear about your experience with Temptations in the comments. Are you aware of these questions about the safety of Temptations? Have you experienced anything with them? Or do you just love them and you've only had good experiences? I would love to hear about your experience with these treats in the comments. So, thank you so much for watching, and if you're interested in more product reviews, buyer's guides, and information on all things cats, please subscribe to the channel. We put up videos at least once a week, so there's always something to look forward to. If you hit that notification bell, you'll get the news every time we release a new video. So regardless of what you choose to do, thank you so much for being here. Really appreciate it, and I'll see you next week, hopefully. Bye.